In the last video we moved the object around on screen using the arrow keys. The only problem with this, as we'll see when I test it, is it's not very smooth. It's a little bit jerky. Now it's moving things 5 pixels at a time. Okay, I understand that. But what will actually happen if we change it to 1 pixel at a time? Let's just go into the code. We change those 5s to 1. So if we test that, it's much smoother, but it's also really slow. So if we want to get a smoother movement, what we've got to do is we've got to change the way that this code works. So again, let's have a look in the code. And what's actually happening here is that when we press a key, the event listener is looking for a key down press, and then it changes these accordingly. What we're going to actually do is do the movement on every frame based around the value of a variable. I'm going to take out the comments here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an enter frame event in here. Now again, very easy. You can use the code snippets and event handlers and enter frame event. I'm just going to click on that. Just put it down at the bottom. I'll just move that up to the top, and we can see there it's adding another event listener, which is event enter frame event, and it runs this function event frame handler. And all it does is it traces entered frame. Now what we do is we replace that with some kind of movement. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some variables instead. So we set these variables up at the top, and I'm going to set up var left, and it's going to be a boolean, and we'll set it to false. I'm going to put in another one, var right boolean equals false, var up boolean equals false, and you can see the code hints are sort of helping us there. Var down boolean equals false. Right, to start off with, and what we're going to do on this enter frame, we're going to do the movement, and we're going to say that if, we'll change this to if left. Now that's the same as saying if left equals true, but obviously at the moment it's false. So if left, then we're going to take away this piece of code and put it there. So if left, then move the player, and I'll move that back to 5. So we've set that to 5, and what we need to do now is to say that if we press the key, then we're going to set, in the case of keyboard left, we're going to set left equals to true. We don't need the break in there, but we do need the semicolon on the end. So what we're saying is that all we do when we press the left key is set left to true, and then that will move the player. Now the only problem with this is that we also need to say we're going to set it to false when we let go of it. So we basically need another event listener for the keyboard event of key up. What I can do is I can actually copy that code, paste it at the bottom, and change this one to key up. F1 press key to move, I'll put a 2 on the end of that because it's a function and we don't want to be using the same function name. And what we're doing is that when we press the left, when we unpress the left, that left is set to false. Okay, so we can just test that just using the left key as we've got it at the moment, and you can see the movement's much better on that. So I press the left key and that works really well. So all I need to do now is just to change the same for the rest of it. So we say if left, if right, if up, if down. I'm going to copy that. Another 1, 2, 3. If right, if up, if down. So if left, player X, we take 5 off. If right, player X, we add 5 to. If up, player Y, we take 5 off. If down, player Y, we add 5 to. I'm changing the switch command to actually look for specific key codes, and again this is an improvement on the original code, and what it's looking for is a key number 37, 38, 39 and 40, and these correspond to the arrow keys on the keyboard. What I've done is on the VLE I've put the code there for you, so you just need to copy and paste these bits in. So all it's doing is the same kind of thing. It says that if key code 37 is pressed, then left is true. If key code 39, then right's true. 38 is up and 40 is down, and then we've just put the same on the bottom. So again, just to recap on what we've got here, we've got some variables that were set up at the top. I'll just take these comments out so we can see a little bit clearer. So we've got the variables set up at the top. We've got an every frame event listener which says if any of those variables are set to true, then to move the player. We've got 2 more event listeners, one to say if you press the key down, then to set the variables to true, one to say if you release the key or the key goes up, then to set them to false. We test this and you can see there we get a very fluid movement, and we've even got diagonals when I press 2 keys at once, and that's because this system allows for multiple touch. It's very important because if not, we wouldn't be able to do things like jump while we're moving or fire while we're moving. We'd only be able to do one thing at once, which wouldn't be very useful. Okay, so that's the end of this particular video.